It was a quiet Friday evening in the suburbs of Glendale, where the air smelled of freshly cut grass and the wind carried a hint of petrichor from the evening drizzle. 16-year-old Maya had the whole house to herself. Her parents were driving down to attend a wedding in another state and wouldn't return until Sunday night. They had double-checked the locks, gone over emergency contacts, and left her with enough groceries to last the weekend. Maya wasn't scared. She loved being alone. She loved the freedom, staying up late, eating junk food, dancing to music at full volume. The house was 2 stories tall, cozy but old, and surrounded by similarly aged homes occupied by quiet, elderly neighbors. No kids, no drama, just peace. She made popcorn, streamed a horror film marathon, and texted her best friend Tanya about every jump scare. Around 11:30 p.m., she heard it. Drip, drip, drip. She paused the movie. The sound came from upstairs. Rolling her eyes, she muttered, "Probably the bathroom sink again," and made her way up the creaky wooden stairs. As she walked, she noticed the house felt colder, almost like a draft had crept in. The air seemed heavier. In the upstairs bathroom, everything appeared fine. She reached out and twisted the faucet tight. Silence. Then, from behind the closed shower curtain, drip, drip, drip. Maya's heart pounded. She took a shaky step back. A dark, rust-colored puddle was forming at the edge of the tub. She hesitated, reached forward, and pulled the curtain aside in one swift motion. The tub was empty. Except the drain was clogged. Inside it were clumps of what looked like fur, golden retriever fur. Maya's stomach dropped. "Milo," she called out, turning to look down the hallway. No sound, no paw steps, no jingling collar. She rushed downstairs, calling his name. "Milo, come here, boy." Silence. The front door was locked. Windows shut. Everything was still. She scanned every room, calling for him until she heard something behind her. A low growl. She turned slowly. Nothing. Then she saw it. Tiny drops of blood leading from the kitchen into the laundry room. She followed them, step by shaky step. Inside, the washing machine door was ajar. Milo was inside, twisted unnaturally. His eyes were open wide, tongue hanging out, his neck slit cleanly. Her knees buckled. She screamed. Above the machine, written in what she could only guess was Milo's blood, were the words, "Humans can lick too." A chill ran down her spine. She scrambled back, heart thudding, hands shaking. Her phone. She had left it charging in the living room. She sprinted to grab it, only to find the screen cracked, as if it had been smashed deliberately. Then a sound from upstairs, a soft whisper. "Maya." She froze. Footsteps followed, not quick ones, slow, deliberate, heavy. A man's footsteps. She grabbed a kitchen knife and hid in the pantry, crouching low behind cleaning supplies. The footsteps grew louder, closer. Then silence. A click. The pantry door creaked open. A man in her father's coat stood there, but his face was hidden behind smeared white paint. A clown mask, but not a plastic one. Real face paint. And stitched onto his mouth was a grotesque smile made of what looked like fishing line. "I liked the way you pet me," he said, and lunged. It was a stormy Thursday in downtown Mumbai. The sky outside cracked with thunder, lightning streaking the night as sheets of rain poured against the city's high-rises. 12-year-old Arjun had never stayed alone before. His parents had gone to attend a late-night function in the suburbs, leaving him with strict instructions to stay inside their 14th-floor apartment and not open the door for anyone. He was obedient and quiet, content with reading his favorite horror comic and munching on cheese popcorn. At around 9:15 p.m., the lights flickered and died. The apartment was plunged into darkness. Arjun, unfazed, got up and lit the emergency lamp kept in the hallway. As the pale light glowed, he settled back on the couch. That's when he heard it. Tap, tap, tap on the living room window. The balcony. It was impossible. They were on the 14th floor. Slowly he turned toward the curtains. They swayed ever so slightly. He got up, nervous, and peeked outside. Nothing but rain. He sighed in relief. But as he turned back, he saw something that made his blood freeze. His comic book had moved. Now, instead of being on the couch, it was on the dining table, and next to it, a child's drawing of a stick figure with X's for eyes. Written underneath, "You're it," he gasped. Just then, a voice echoed through the hallway, a girl's voice, faint and distant. "Arjun, wanna play?" He turned to look. The corridor was empty. "I see you." He darted into his bedroom, slamming the door behind him. He pushed a chair against the knob and crawled under his bed, clutching his flashlight. Every creak outside made his heart pound harder. Then he saw them, tiny feet, bare, filthy, a girl's feet. She was standing right outside his door. Then, silence. Suddenly the chair moved. He could hear the door slowly creak open. Then, a face peered under the bed, pale, hollow-eyed, no nose, no mouth, just skin. She whispered, "Found you." The lights flickered, and everything went black. The next morning, when his parents returned, Arjun was crouched in the corner of the bedroom, rocking back and forth, repeating, "She has no face. She has no face." Anita had always dreamed of escaping the city to write. At 25, she rented an old colonial house in the countryside of Himachal, surrounded by thick pine forests. The nearest neighbor was 3 miles away. The silence was deafening, but it was just what she needed to focus. The house creaked constantly. It was old. The floorboards moaned when walked upon, and the wind outside whistled through the chimney. She grew used to the eerie noises. But then things changed. It started with the mirror in her bedroom. She'd look into it and see someone else, a shadow behind her. But when she turned around, nothing was there. Then the scratching started. Every night, just past 2 a.m., she'd hear faint scratching sounds from inside the walls. She tried ignoring it, chalking it up to rats. But one night she followed the sound. It led to the fireplace. She crouched down and looked inside. 2 eyes stared back. She screamed and stumbled back. But when she looked again, they were gone. Just soot and ash. The next day, she found a crawl space behind the bookcase in the study. Inside there were jars, dozens of them, each filled with human fingers. Preserved. A journal sat beside them, written in shaky cursive. "The watcher in the walls sees you when you sleep. If you see it, it will follow. If you run, it will feed." She tried to leave that night. Her car wouldn't start. The phone, dead. At 3 a.m., she heard her name being whispered from inside the floorboards. "Anita, I'm still hungry." She ran to the front door. It was chained shut. She hadn't chained it. Then she saw them, long, pale fingers reaching out from the fireplace, dragging a humanoid creature into the room. Its face was human-like, but stitched backward, mouth on the forehead, eyes on the chin. No ears, no voice. It pointed at her. "You saw me," it whispered. The next day, the local police were alerted by a delivery driver who found the front door wide open. Inside, there was no trace of Anita. Just the journal. One new line had been added in blood. "She writes from inside me now.